All right, let's talk about something a little different today. Forget about just setting goals for a second. I want you to think bigger. We're talking about architecting your life. Yeah, like building a house. We're going to dive into a framework that stops treating your personal growth like some vague wish and starts treating it like a serious, high stakes construction project. And you're the lead architect.
So, why does most life coaching feel kind of incomplete? You know that feeling, right? You dive into self improvement, you look up a coach, and it just feels like something's missing. It's like they hand you one piece of the puzzle. Let's work on your mindset, or let's get you fit. But you know deep down, you need the whole box. Well, if you've ever felt that way, you're not wrong. There's a huge, fundamental flaw in that old, fragmented way of doing things.
Okay, so here's the game plan. First, we're going to expose the big flaw in most coaching. Then, we'll lay out a totally new blueprint built on three essential pillars: your mind, your actions, and your body. And finally, we'll see how they all snap together to create one powerhouse system for high performance. Sound good? Let's get into it. All right, first up, the flaw in the foundation. We're going to talk about why this fragmented approach just doesn't work. Seriously, focusing on just one thing at a time, it's like trying to build a skyscraper on sand. It's pretty much designed to fail from the get-go.
Okay, look at this. This really spells out the problem. On the left, you've got your typical coaching. It's all in a vacuum, right? You've got a mindset coach over here, a personal trainer over there, maybe a business mentor somewhere else, all separate. But on the right, you have the ecosystem approach. It's all integrated. It says your mindset, your body, and your ability to actually do things are all connected. You can't separate them. One way gives you these isolated silos that don't talk to each other. The other, it builds a tough, resilient system that actually works.
So, if the old way is broken, what's the fix? Well, we need a whole new blueprint. And that brings us to something called the quad pillar foundation. Think of it as a structure built on three super strong pillars that, when you put them all together, create a fourth, even more powerful element: the complete integrated system itself. And at the core of this new blueprint is what we call a high-performance ecosystem. So what does that even mean? Well, think of it as merging three absolutely critical parts of your life. You've got the why, that's your psychology, what drives you. Then there's the how, that's the nuts and bolts project management for your goals. And finally, you have the vessel, that's your physical health, the engine that powers everything. When you get those three working together, in sync, man, that's when your performance just skyrockets. Okay, time to lay the first pillar of our foundation. This is the cognitive blueprint. This is all about getting crystal clear on your why. And listen, this isn't about some cheesy motivational poster. This is about drafting the real, actual architectural plans for your mind. So what makes this different from just thinking positive? It's that it's evidence-based. We're talking about using the actual science of how our brains work to take apart those limiting beliefs we all have. For instance, when you combine a deep understanding of psychology with a certification from a body like the ICF, that's the International Coaching Federation, you're not just guessing. You're using proven ethical methods to help someone rewire their own thought patterns. It's a total game changer. This quote just nails it. We've all been there, right? You want to change, but it feels like you're hitting this invisible brick wall. That's your brain's natural resistance kicking in. A coach who understands psychology doesn't just yell, "Try harder." They actually show you where the door is in that wall, so you can walk through and start building a whole new path.
Okay, so we've got the why locked in, but knowing why you want something isn't enough. You need to know how to get it. And that brings us to Pillar 2, the execution framework. This is where the rubber meets the road. We're moving from thinking to doing.
And I love this idea right here. Most coaching works with these fuzzy goals. I want to be happier. I want to be more successful. What does that even mean? This approach says no more of that. We're going to treat your life like it's a multi-million-dollar project. Because let's be honest, your life is your most important project, your biggest investment.
So how do you actually do that? How do you manage your life like a pro? You borrow from the best. You use a framework like what project management professionals or PMPs use. First, you define your vision and scope. So not get in shape, but I will run a 5K in under 30 minutes by September. See the difference? Then you identify and manage your risks. You allocate your resources, your time, your energy, your money, and then you execute and deliver. It literally turns a wish into a scheduled step-by-step plan.
And this quote just puts a perfect bow on it. It's so powerful. We're taking that vague, dreamy idea of someday I'll do this, and we're slapping it right on the calendar with a due date. It's not a dream anymore, it's a deliverable. All right, so we've got the architectural blueprint, we've got the construction schedule, but what about the construction crew? What's going to power this whole project? That brings us to our third and final pillar, the high-performance vessel. And that's you, your body. It's the essential hardware that has to run all this amazing mental software we're creating. And this is a truth that so many people ignore. You cannot sustain mental breakthroughs in a depleted body. Let me say that again. You cannot sustain breakthroughs in a body that's worn out. You can have the best mindset, the most brilliant plan on earth, but if you are exhausted and running on fumes, it's all for nothing. Your big ideas need real physical energy to come to life. And that's exactly where optimizing the hardware comes into play. And again, this isn't just about eat your veggies. This is about applying real science from trusted sources like NASM, that's the National Academy of Sports Medicine. It's about figuring out the right fuel and the right training for your body to create the energy and the hormonal balance you need to go out and crush your goals. And this quote brings the whole holistic architect idea full circle. It's not just about drawing up a beautiful plan. It's about making sure you have the physical strength and the pure raw energy to show up every single day and live in the amazing house we're building together. Okay, so we've looked at each pillar one by one, the mind, the plan, the body. Now for the final section, let's put it all together. Let's see how these pieces assemble into one complete life system, something that is way, way more powerful than just the sum of its parts. So here's how it all snaps into place. The why, your cognitive blueprint, gives you your North Star, your direction. The how, your execution framework, gives you the map to get there. And the vessel, your body, is the high-performance vehicle for the entire journey. And the really cool part is how they feed each other. A healthy body gives you a clearer mind. A clear mind makes it easier to stick to your plan. Sticking to your plan reduces stress, which, you guessed it, improves your health. It's this amazing upward spiral. It's not 1 + 1 + 1 = 3. It's more like 1 + 1 + 1 = 10. And really, that's the bottom line here. This isn't just coaching. This is life engineering. It's about deciding to build a life of purpose, on purpose, intentionally, with a solid plan and the right tools for the job. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Your life is the ultimate project. It is the most important, the most complex, and ultimately the most rewarding project you will ever work on. So, who's the architect? Are you just letting it happen by chance, or are you ready to grab the blueprints and start building?